Nwankwo'S cross. They've got a man over here. It's Babayaro, the left back. Oh, it's an own goal! Celestine Babayaro, and Nigeria with 19 minutes gone on level. Now Amakachi. Oh, here's an opportunity. Oh, a scorching goal that is. And Nigeria are back in it. Wow, an explosive finish. Morales not only got out of his stretch. Oh, here's a chance. It's in by Kanu. Nigeria have equalised in the last minute with a goal from their captain, Nwankwo'S.
Well, I talked about Kanu providing a little bit of something special in this game because I hadn't seen him, but I wouldn't call him special, but it was very, very important.
Any attempt to chronicle Nigeria's sporting history without due recognition of a monumental victory at the 1996 Olympic Games in the United States of America, where we shocked the whole world as champions in soccer, would not be complete. That singular achievement instantly raised the profile of our country in sport, particularly football, as Nigeria became a strong force to be reckoned with in this area.
Fatusi, for me, for the Nigerians, could
just take a cape on the back. This is Kanu. He does! The captain has won the game for Nigeria. The man who saved the game for Nigeria takes them into the final.
And the stars who worked extra hard to achieve this feat soon began to reap the bountiful fruits of hard work, dedication and loyalty to fatherland, as they became most sought after, signing huge mouth-watering contracts with the best clubs in Europe as a result of the new status bestowed on them as the kings of Olympic football in the world. Stars like J.J. Okocha and Kanu, who were indeed at the peak of their football career at this period, got all the attention, signed mega advertising deals, living life to the hilt. However, soon after the worldwide celebration that greeted this rare achievement, the victory song was cut short for one of the main architects of the feat attained by the dream team in the Olympic Games football finals in the USA, when a bewildered nation was greeted with the news of the affliction of heart problem by Kanu. It was indeed an anticlimax and a terrible jolt to the career of the young footballer, whose career at that time was on a steady ascendancy. One of those who quickly rose to the occasion to give Kanu the needed support and insurance then was Sumonu Bello Sage of the Nigerian Consul General's office in New York and the coordinator of the Super Eagles team. He now gives an insight into what they went through and how they finally surmounted this unexpected hurdle and Kanu's rare qualities.
I was in my office just in New York, and I was flipping through the national New York Times, and I look at the sports column, and it says that the Nigerian star who did Nigerians in league and all that is going to quit soccer because he had this, it had just been confirmed that he's diagnosed with a heart problem. Right then and then, I said, I'm not going to let this stay. I must do something about it. I took a personal decision. And through the grace of God, I'm very happy I did what I was supposed to do. Contacted him. He was in Holland. After calling him almost 5-7 times, finally convinced Mr. B, I'm sorry I didn't return your call, but I have a problem here. I said, what's it? He explained to me. He said, even Inter Milan. That was the time that I was trying to go to Inter Milan. Inter Milan is now saying, as long as he's been certified that he can play, then he can go ahead with the contract. I decided to seek a professional advice through the Amtrak all the way to Boston, Massachusetts, where I saw this Dr. Adolf Hunter and Dr. Bill Bickley, the man who operated on Boris Yeltsin. It was then that the man told me that this thing is normal. If the operation is done right, Kanu can go back to soccer. Then we were looking for a suitable place. We found out that there's this beautiful hospital called the Cleveland Clinic Foundation. It was a 5 hours operation, successful. After the operation, he had this long program in Los Angeles. for about 6 months rehabilitation, and the doctors was only advising him, train once a day, don't just come in. Kind of train in the morning, in the evening at about 4:30, calls me, Mr. B, let's go. I said, no, the doctor said train once. I said, no. If you want to be successful in life, it comes with hard work and perseverance. And I thank God, he came back and he did so well. And to crown it all, he's a guy that have this mindset. No matter what people say, he always like to reach that for the good cause.
Indeed, like the great survivalist that he is, Kanu survived the life-threatening disease that almost cut short the career that has brought him tremendous fame and stupendous fortune today. Interestingly, Nwankwo'S father, Elder Kanu Ihene, according to Mr. Ima Agu, the Group MD of Champion Newspapers, was the chairman of Sparta's FC Obuweri, which later metamorphosed to Nwankwo National, where Kanu began his football career. Kanu's liaison with the round and leather game began from that point, and so from the local inconsequential boy of yesterday, from that mustard seed of yesterday, Kanu has grown to be an Iroko tree. For someone who lives in the same neighborhood with the likes of Lennox Lewis, former world heavyweight boxing champion, who rides the most exotic automobiles, who controls great investments across the globe at a very young age, marriage has been the missing link. Therefore, the best decision ever taken by Kanu was that of his getting married. This may well turn out to be the tonic he needs to stabilize his career, which has suffered some hiccups recently. And if the occasion of Kanu's marriage to his beautiful heartthrob Amarachi was one to gauge his goodwill, then Kanu must have come out in flying colors. As all the venues of the event was filled to capacity with dignitaries from all walks of life, not even the fact that the Super Eagles march with Algeria coincided with the event took the shine off the ceremony. The Presbyterian Church in Aladiama Inuri had to contend with a congregation almost 4 times the normal capacity of the church. Canopies were placed outside the church to cater for all the guests. Kanu and wife were in top spirit throughout the church service as they took their marital vows and exchanged rings.
I, Nwankwo Kanu, take you, Amarachi Onyado. Take you, Amarachi Onyado. To be my only wife. To be my only wife. And in the presence of God. And in the presence of God. And this congregation. And this congregation. And witnesses. And witnesses. Do promise and covenant. Do promise and covenant. To be a loving. To be a loving. Faithful. Faithful and dutiful husband. And dutiful husband. To you, look at her. Until God shall separate us. Shall separate us by death. By death. Amen. Amen. I, Amarachi Onyado. Take you, look at him. Take you, Nwankwo Kanu, to be my only husband. To be my only husband. And in the presence of God. And in the presence of God. And this congregation. And this congregation. And witnesses. And witnesses. Promise. Promise. And covenant. And covenant. That I will be a loving. That I'll be a loving, faithful, and dutiful wife. And dutiful wife to you, until God, look at him, shall separate us. Shall separate us by death. By death. Amen.
Thereafter, they signed the marriage register in the presence of their parents, while the officiating ministers watched with keen interest. The The venue of the reception, the Concord Hotel, which had won a new look courtesy of the state government, was already a beehive of activities. As a large crowd of Kanu's admirers had already gathered awaiting the arrival of the couple of the moment amidst singing and dancing, the extremely fascinating color scheme of the reception venue completed the stage, which was built on top of the swimming pool of Concord Hotel, where Kanu, his wife, groomsmen, bridesmaids and parents of both families sat. By the time Kanu and Amarachi, his wife, hit the arena with the groomsmen and bridesmaid with that popular song by Paul Ike Dairo, the excitement had hit crescendo. The whole arena went ecstatic with Kanu, his wife and friends singing and dancing along with Paul Play Dairo. One-time NFA chairman, sports minister and governor, retired Commodore Emeka Umera, offered the opening prayers. The chairman of the occasion and president general of Ohaneze Ndigbo and Nigeria's first insurance lawyer, Professor Joe Iroko's address took the audience down memory lane, likening Kanu's wedding to his glorious moment in Atlanta, USA, when he virtually woke up the dream team from the dead in these crucial matches against Brazil and Argentina that led to the airport making outing of our football team in the 1996 Olympic Games.
He is a role model in every respect of the world. He symbolizes everything that one would expect in today's African role model. He is the embodiment of integrity of the highest form for the youth. He is the embodiment of kindness. He is the embodiment of humility. He is the embodiment of gratitude. Is an embodiment of love for his fellow human beings. And when I was growing up, my father used to tell us that the most important thing in life was integrity and goodwill. This young man has both integrity and goodwill, and I commend him. He's got the kind of courage which is not very easy to find today. His commitment and dedication to his chosen profession represents the highest form of professionalism. I can go on reciting the good qualities of this young man that make him a role model. Ohaneze Ndigbo have asked me to tell this young man that he's a pride to Ndigbo, a pride to Nigeria, and a pride to Africa. And we're happy that he has chosen a young lady that comes from a good family and a good background, who symbolizes the capacity, who represents the capacity to love her husband and to learn from her husband.
The cutting of the wedding cake, which was witnessed by top dignitaries including the Deputy Senate President, Senator Ibrahim Mantu, the wife of the Senate President, Chief Mrs. Felicia Wabara, the Imo State Governor and wife, the Deputy Governor of Ebonyi State, Dr. Chigozie Ogu, and others were supervised by the chairman of the occasion, Professor Joe Iroko.
Put your hands together, please. Even if you didn't see them, just put your hands together.
The Deputy Senate President gave the verdict of the witnesses.
The groom was cutting the cake very mercifully, while the bride cut it ruthlessly. Therefore, the winner is Kanu.
While Angela Onyado counted it in the very convivial spirit of the moment.
It is a draw. Amarachi 1, Kanu 1 for 1.
Next Next was the bridal dance, which saw Kanu, his wife, and the big wigs digging it to Paul play Ike Daire's music. While we heartily congratulate Kanu Nwankwo for scoring the most important goal of his life, his decision to marry from his homestead in Arochukwu, Abia State, will certainly make his parents happy throughout their lives. We also hope that luck, that element usually associated with occasions like this, will rub off on Kanu, so that he can pick up his football career, which seems to have been on a downward slide in recent times. Congratulations, Papilo. Nigerians indeed love you.